Go ahead, take a look in your kitchen, your pantry, your fridge. What do you see? I bet it's a ton of boxes, bags, cans, and cartons, right? We are literally surrounded by food packaging every single day, but honestly, we barely even notice it. But here's the thing, behind every single one of those containers is a massive, incredibly complex, and a pretty fascinating global industry. So today, we're going to pull back the curtain on this hidden world.
Okay, so here's our game plan. First, we'll look at how this whole industry shows up in your kitchen. Then, we're going to break down how it all works, layer by layer. After that, we'll talk about the materials and the money involved, get to know one of the major players, and then wrap things up by tackling the single biggest challenge this industry is facing right now.
Let's start with something we all get. Every morning, millions and millions of us grab a box of cereal. That simple little act, it connects you to a truly enormous global supply chain.
I mean, have you ever really thought about it? That box didn't just magically appear on the shelf. Its journey from just raw materials all the way to your kitchen counter is this incredible story of engineering, marketing, and some serious logistics.
Yeah, this very box and the plastic bag inside it, they're basically the public face of the entire food packaging world. And it's designed to do way more than just hold your cereal. It's like a silent salesman on the shelf and a tiny fortress protecting what's inside.
So really, it boils down to these three things. The three big missions. It has to protect the food from germs and from getting crushed. It has to preserve it, keeping it fresh by blocking out moisture or light. And finally, it has to persuade you, the person shopping, to pick it up instead of the one next to it.
So, how in the world does one little box do all of that? Well, to get that, we need to look at its structure. Because it's not just one thing, it's actually an entire system.
Okay, so here's a little inside baseball. The industry thinks about packaging in three distinct levels, or categories, and each one has a very, very specific job to do in getting food from a factory to your kitchen safely and efficiently. All right, so it breaks down like this. First up, you've got primary packaging. This is the stuff that actually touches your food. Think of that sealed plastic bag inside the cereal box. Its main job is keeping things safe and fresh. Then you've got the secondary packaging. That's the branded cardboard box itself. It protects the bag, it makes it easy to stack, and it uses its flashy design to sell you the product. And finally, there's the layer that most of us never ever see, tertiary packaging. And here it is, that final step in action. Tertiary packaging is really the unsung hero of the entire supply chain. We're talking about those big, plain cardboard boxes and the plastic shrink wrap holding them all together on a pallet. Its design has nothing to do with looking pretty. It is 100% about logistics, making bulk transport cheap, efficient, and safe.
Okay, so now that we get the different layers, let's talk about the sheer scale of this industry. It is absolutely gigantic, and it's growing for one really big reason.
It's us. Our lifestyles are changing. As our lives get busier, time becomes the one thing we can't get more of. So what do? We buy more packaged foods because they just fit. They're convenient. And that desire for convenience is the engine that's driving this entire market forward.
And hey, the numbers don't lie. Just look at this. The global food packaging market was already worth a staggering $400 billion back in 2021. But look at that forecast. It's on track to more than double, blowing past $800 billion by 2034. I mean, that is some rock-solid, consistent growth.
Right, so with a market that huge, what are we actually talking about here? What are the basic building blocks of this multi-billion-dollar industry? Well, no huge surprise here. Plastic is the king, making up 42% of the market. It's just so versatile and lightweight. But right on its heels is paper and paperboard, with a huge 32% chunk. And then you have the old school classics, metal at 14% and glass at 12%, which is still loved for being so strong and durable.
And all those materials get shaped into different kinds of containers. Flexible packaging, like chip bags and candy wrappers, that's the biggest piece of the pie of 41%. Then you have your rigid stuff like cans and jars coming in at 33%. And after that comes the semi-rigid category, which covers things like trays, boxes, and cartons.
Okay, so this is super important. Deciding what kind of package to use for a product is incredibly complicated. A food company has to think about all of this. Is it safe for the food? Does it protect from light? Does it meet government regulations? Can it be recycled? And how much does it cost to make and to ship? And maybe most importantly, will it look good on the shelf? It's a huge balancing act.
To make all of this a little more real, let's zoom in and focus on one specific corner of the market by looking at a company that has totally mastered a type of packaging you see every day.
Let's talk about Cartn. These guys are a huge global player, and they are total experts in packaging solutions. They don't just churn out containers, they actually invent new designs, hold a ton of patents, and even help food companies set up entire packaging factories.
The name kind of gives it away, right? Cartn's specialty is those semi-rigid cartons and tubs you see everywhere, holding things like milk, almond milk, and fruit juice. I can almost guarantee you've used one of their products to get a safe, long-lasting drink. And believe me, these cartons are so much more than just folded paper. They're basically a high-tech sandwich of different materials. You've got paperboard for the structure, sure, but there's also a super thin layer of aluminum foil to block out light and oxygen. And crucially, there are multiple layers of special plastic on the inside to make sure the food never, ever touches the aluminum. That's the magic that lets your orange juice stay fresh for weeks before you even open it. A total game changer for convenience.
All right, let's zoom back out for a second. Because this entire booming, innovative industry is running headfirst into a massive challenge. One that puts two incredibly powerful forces on a direct collision course.
And this quote just nails it. While the industry keeps growing, so does our awareness as consumers. People are starting to ask some tough questions about where all this packaging actually goes when we're done with it. Wanting sustainable options isn't some niche thing anymore. It's a major force in the market.
And this really is the central conflict, isn't it? On the one hand, our demand for convenience just keeps creating a need for more and more packaging. But on the other hand, that very same demand is creating a growing mountain of waste, which raises some really serious environmental concerns. You've got two powerful trends just pulling in completely opposite directions.
And that's the big question. It's the question the entire food packaging industry, and really all of us as consumers, are going to have to figure out. How do we balance our desire for food that's easy, safe, and lasts a long time with our need for a sustainable planet? The industry is definitely looking for answers, from new plant-based plastics to smarter recycling, but finding that perfect balance, that is the next great challenge.